Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 100. I am your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today kicks off a 4-part summer reading series. Today is part 1, of course. And in just a minute, I'll share my interview with Tracy and Alisha from Way Public Library, which is right here in Perrysburg. We'll be talking about Way Public Library's summer reading programs. Part 2 will be next week. That is Friday, June 27th. That's my interview with local author Bill Williams. Join us as we discuss his book, 20 Years of Internet Humor and Other Interesting Things, Volume 1. Plus, Bill gives advice for first-time authors who want to publish a book. Bill lives in Perrysburg. If you're a local author-to-be, you need to listen to this episode. And then we'll take a break on July 4th for the Perrysburg Podcast's 2-year podcast anniversary show. So 2 years this podcast has been around. We will celebrate 2 years and more than 100 episodes. I'll talk about stats, lessons learned, what's next for the podcast, and more. Then the series starts back up on July 11th with part 3 in this summer reading series. Part 3 is my interview with Denise Phillips. She owns Gathering Volumes Bookstore. That is the independent bookstore right here in Perrysburg. And the 4th and final part of this series comes out on Friday, July 18th. It's my interview with local author Gary Franks. Local history is Gary's area of expertise. And as with Bill Williams, in part 2 of this series, Gary gives advice for first-time authors. If you're a Perrysburg author-to-be, so you live in Perrysburg, you want to write a book, you need to listen to that episode too. You just might be inspired to write your first book. All right, thank you so much to everyone who helped make this series possible. All of the guests, anybody who helped hook me up with a guest, I really appreciate everybody's help on this one. Now let's get into today's interview. On the show today, we have Tracy and Alisha from Way Public Library right here in Perrysburg to talk about the 2025 summer reading programs at Way Public Library. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Tracy and Alisha. Hi, Tracy and Alisha. Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast.
Hi, thanks for having us.
My pleasure. It's not every day I'm encouraged to talk inside the library, so thank you for having me. Let's have you introduce yourselves. Alisha, let's start with you. We'll go in alphabetical order.
Hi, my name is Alisha. I am the Youth Services Coordinator at Way Public Library.
We're definitely going to talk about the children's summer reading program with you. And then over here we've got Tracy. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tracy Army, and I am a programming specialist here at the library, so I help with the adult summer reading program.
Awesome. Thank you for making that distinction. Would you believe I've lived here for about 18 years, and I didn't know that there was both a children's and an adult summer reading program?
Oh, no.
I know. Shame on me.
It didn't always exist, to be fair.
Really? For the past 18 years?
I can't speak for the past 18 years, but
That's okay.
I know we haven't done the adult every year. We've definitely done the children's.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I'm going to learn about both today, and my audience will learn along with me, which is great. All right. Where do we begin? How did this get started, the summer reading program? Do you happen to know the history of it?
I do not know the history. So I started last June. So I kind of came in when adult summer reading had already started. I knew that it existed just from living in the community, and I'd participated myself before I worked here, but I don't know the origin story of summer reading.
That's all right. You didn't know I was going to pop that question either, so you handled
Be
that
good
very
to
well.
know.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to find out. And then for the children's, do you happen to know any history about that?
I don't. I know that it started because of the summer slump. It was very recognizable pattern that when children get out of school at May and then they come back in September, there is a noticeable difference between how well they were doing then and then how well they're doing at the beginning of the year, and that they have to play a lot of catch up. So I know that's why it started, but I really can't tell you when. I know that throughout my entire life, and I'll tell you I'm 41 years old, that I've had summer reading. So it's at least that old, but if you know, it'd be news to me.
I do not know. I asked a question I don't know the answer to. But I was born in the 70s. I was born in 78. And in the 80s in Pemberville, Ohio, when I was going to the Pemberville Library, we had a summer reading program. And I thought it would be good to talk to the Way Public Library about yours so we could create a podcast episode as a reference for anybody who's interested in the summer reading program here at Way Public Library. Now, off mic, before I pressed record, we were talking about how it's a little bit different every year. So let's just talk about this year. And I think that will definitely inform the audience that it has a basic structure. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I like the messy middle. So I'm here in the middle of June, right when it's already been started. So who would like to tell me, how did this get started this year here in 2025?
Go ahead, Alisha.
Okay, I'll speak about the children's. So previous to this year, we were doing things electronically, but it felt like our community prefers things to be more pen and paper or crayon and paper.
Tactile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this year, I decided that we were going to do a daily tracker. It's paper, you come in, you pick up the tracker, and then you're off. So you have from May 31st until August 1st to do the program. If you are a very good reader, you can do it twice.
So what I'm hearing is it's almost like a progress bar, but on a piece of paper. And what does it look like? Because, of course, this is audio.
So on the paper, we have it's Color Your World, which is our theme this year. It's an art theme. We have little circles, 1 through 30, and the children can color it in, pencil it. I've actually seen them do some really nice art on their trackers so far.
Nice. And there are 30 numbers on it from what I can see. And the goal is to read 30 books, right?
No, the goal is to read for 30 days.
Oh.
So if the child is reading a book a day, that's fantastic. But if they're reading one book and it takes them 30 days, that's fine too, just as long as they're reading every day.
Got it. I am just using my basic math here, but the number of days between May 31st and August 1st is greater than 30. So why'd you pick 30?
I chose 30 because first, sometimes families are busy. Maybe you're going to miss a day or two, but you won't feel like you just failed because you didn't do it in 30 days. It's okay if it took you a little bit longer. The other reason is so if you were really good and you read every single day, you can do it again. So you can keep going.
How do you keep kids motivated to keep reading, Alisha?
We do have some prizes to get them motivated.
Awesome.
So once they reach 15 days, they can come in and they can get a prize. If they are under 3 years old, they will get a book. If they're over 3, they will get a little paint palette because once again, the theme is art. And then they will get a raffle ticket for a chance to win one of the big prizes that we have this year.
Ooh, big prizes. What do you have for your big prizes?
Well, we have actually quite a few of them, but I will tell you that we have some squishy blocks. We have a big stuffed animal. We have a little marble maze. So lots of really fun prizes that they could get a chance to win.
Nice. I like that they're not all food prizes. Do you have any tips for the readers? Like for any kid who walks in here and they don't consider themselves a reader, how do they pick out a book?
One thing I would suggest is you don't have to choose a traditional book. If that doesn't work for you, you can listen to an audiobook. You could read a graphic novel. You could read together as a family. So if just regular books don't appeal to you or novels don't appeal to you, choose a nonfiction book if that's more your style.
Nice. I like that they have renamed comic books to something a little bit more mature. So it's graphic novels now, right? Yeah. When I first heard that term, I thought graphic, what does that mean, violence? But no, it's just a comic book, but they've renamed it, right? Yeah, and I think there's more of them these days too.
Oh,
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter, she's 11, and that's basically all she reads is graphic novels, and I'm fine with that because she's reading, so.
Yes. I like pictures too, so nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own thing. I was wondering if you might say that the librarians can help kids pick out books too.
Absolutely.
Of course, of course. I had great librarians when I was growing up, and I know there's an information desk. Is that the best place to
Yes,
access the
absolutely.
librarian?
There's an information desk, and there is always a children's librarian there. So if you need help choosing a children's book, we are more than happy to help you.
Alisha, thank you for recommending the children's librarian here at Way Public Library. I noticed that there are printed materials around the library, and I don't know who wants to take this question, but I've got a bookmark in my hand, and it's about the theme, Color Our World, and it's got the dates. And I know that you said that there was the sheet that kids can color in the 30 different circles. What else do you have?
We also have our program guide. It also talks about the summer reading program, and you should have received that in the mail around May 24th or so.
Okay. Yep, I definitely received that. I know there's a lot of different ways to reach people. You guys have a newsletter too, right?
Yes.
So it was probably in there,
Yep,
right?
monthly
Yes.
newsletter.
Yep, email newsletter. I signed up for that. Yeah, so there was a lot of information out there about it. Anything else? I don't want to miss anything. Any other printed materials that people might come across?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Alisha, thanks for talking about the children's summer reading program. Now we're going to turn to Tracy. Tracy, tell me about the adult summer reading program.
Sure. So it's similar to children's. We're asking that people read for 30 days. Again, they can read print, audio, or digital. However they choose to read and enjoy to read is the best way to do it. After the 30 days and they completed their tracker, they'll turn it in to the information desk and be entered in a raffle for gift cards in the area.
Can you name 2 gift cards?
Yes, Maddie and Bella and Michael's craft store. So
Okay. All right. I like both of those.
yeah,
Yeah, especially Maddie and Bella's.
for sure.
That's where I had my first ever avocado toast. I didn't know it was a thing. Saw it on the menu, ate it, loved it.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Now, when it comes to the adult summer reading program, like I said, I didn't know that it existed here before. What's the amount of participation? I probably should have asked Alisha about the children's participation, but is it 2 people or is it more like 100?
I would say closer to 100. So I actually wasn't too involved in it last year since I had just started, like I said, in June. So I don't know what the final count was, but we did do a winter reading program too for adults. And we had, I think, close to 300 people participate in that. So I would guess that summer would be about the same number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Alisha talked about the reason that there's a children's summer reading program, so there's no regression with the reading skills over the summer. What made the Way Public Library have an adult summer reading program? Do you happen to know?
I don't know the answer to it, but my guess would be the parents are coming in with their children and their children are participating in this program. So why not get more adults to read at the same time?
Okay. Are you seeing that parents are also signing up for the adult summer reading program when their children sign up?
Yes, definitely.
Very cool. Since my kids are not the age where they're in the summer reading program anymore, that's probably why I didn't know about the adult summer reading
That could
program.
be.
What kind of feedback have you gotten about the adult summer reading program?
So I haven't heard anything about it yet this summer. We did change it. Last year, I believe it was a bingo card instead of a 30 days. So you would read like a certain type of book or read in a certain area in your house and you would cross off and get a bingo. And that was how it was set up last year. So I haven't heard any feedback about the change for this year. So I'm not sure how people are receiving it, but hopefully well.
Okay. All right. And then do you foresee next year's being the same or different?
I would say it would probably be similar, but I will never say exactly the same because as Alisha said, things are always changing and moving at the library and we're adapting to, the feedback that we will receive this year. So it will be similar next year.
Alisha, as we record this on June 17th, 2025, has anyone turned in one of their half-completed cards?
Yes, we've started getting people turning in their cards. As I mentioned before, some children really enjoy being able to color in and be artistic with it. And when they've come in, we've given them their paint palette set, their raffle ticket, and they are very excited to be able to put a ticket into one of our ballot boxes that we have in the library.
What is the ballot box? Is that where you put the completed or
Yep.
half-completed
Yep.
ticket?
So we know which prize to give to which child.
Nice. Okay. Now, are you finding that children or adults are taking pictures of themselves with books and putting the Way Library hashtag on it, or are you seeing any social media participation?
I don't think so, but also we don't necessarily ask for that kind of participation at this point. It's something we could definitely do in the future, but I haven't witnessed any of that myself. I don't know about Alisha.
No, I haven't seen that right now. I've seen it with them taking pictures of different programs in the library or even just coming in to get their first library card, but I haven't noticed them doing a summer reading promotion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to throw down a challenge for 2026. I know 2025 is already here, but maybe you guys could create a hashtag like Summer Reading 2026 or Way Public Summer Reading 2026, something like that, and then invite people to, hashtag it up and put it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And then people can look for years to come and see, hashtag Summer Reading Way Public Library or whatever hashtag you create. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes, I contributed.
We'll mark it down.
Awesome. I think that a lot of kids want to be like the big kids or they want to be like what they see. So I'm just trying to encourage that role models to emerge from Way Public Library. Are there any myths about this summer reading program that you would like to dispel? Any misconceptions? Anybody coming in thinking it's one thing and really it's something else?
I guess maybe one thing I have heard is people think they have to read a certain amount of time per day or, but really we're just encouraging people to read every day, whatever that time amount may be for you. That would be maybe one thing I've heard.
Yes, the misunderstanding that it is books per day and not just read every day. So that is also something I've run into a couple of times with parents thinking that their child must read a book a day. Or I guess another one would be that their child even has to be the one that is physically reading the book. So they would say, oh, my child can't do it because they're not reading it. No, your child can do it. It's just you read to them or another adult reads to them or an older sibling reads to them and not them physically reading themselves.
Or taking turns. I mean, I used to do that with my kids, like, oh, I'm so tired from reading. You must read this next paragraph.
Help me.
Yes, we parents, we like to play games with our kids, right? All right. And then tell me the ages that are associated with the children's summer reading program.
The children's summer reading program is from birth to 17.999999 years old.
Gotcha.
So once again, yes, your baby can do the summer reading program. You will just, of course, read to your baby.
I'm picturing a baby that comes out reading. Sorry.
No boss babies in Perrysburg, as far as I know.
Awesome. Okay. And then Tracy, then the adult summer
Adults
reading
would
program
be
would be?
18 and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. So what I hear you saying is that just read something every day, 30 days total between May 31st and August 1st, and come in and get your prizes, right? Or get into the drawing if you're an adult for these gift cards, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you each a question. Alisha, what's your favorite part about the children's summer reading program?
My favorite part is when they come in with their completed sheet and they are so excited to get their first prizes, just seeing how excited they are and also proud that they've read as much as they did.
Nice. And then Tracy?
My favorite part, I think, is just seeing how many people turn in their sheets. I think for me, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember the Book It program when we were in school and you would get, 5 books and then you get a free pizza. Like it kind of is that feeling of crossing things off and finishing something. So it's kind of reminiscent of that, I think.
Nice. That's a good memory for me as well. I remember going into Pizza Hut and getting my personal pan pizza.
Yep.
Yes. That was fun. Was coming up with a theme difficult for you at all?
So we don't come up with the theme. Alisha can maybe speak to you a little bit more about exactly where the theme comes from, but those are in place already, and that we're given the theme to work with each year.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Alisha, would you like to talk about the theme? Where does that come from?
It comes from CSLP. This children's summer library program. And like Tracy said, years in advance, they decide what the theme of the year is going to be. And then librarians come together and we create materials for it. And actually, I was on the committee to do it for this one, Color Our World. It is something that's already set up. However, I will say that libraries do not have to follow the theme. So another library might choose that they're going to do, let's just say, for example, next year is America's 250th birthday. They might decide to do that instead of the theme for next year, which is a dinosaur theme. So it's completely up to the library what they want to do. We followed the theme this year.
Nice. Oh man, that's a tough decision. Dinosaurs or the, what'd you say, 250th birthday of the United States?
Yeah.
Whew.
I'm planning on combining.
Or both. Yeah.
Are you?
Patriotic dinosaurs.
That would be awesome. I love dinosaurs. Jurassic Park was a game changer movie-wise when I was growing up. When I saw those dinosaurs on screen, I was like, wow, this is next level. Because I grew up with Snow White, which was an animated film from the 30s or something. Yep, movies have come a long way. Well, there's still time to join the summer reading program, right? Even if somebody just joins to get the prize at halfway, right? So somebody could join mid-July and still participate and earn prizes, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right. Well, as we start to wrap this up, is there anything else you'd like to say about either the adult summer reading program or the children's summer reading program? Tracy?
I guess the only other thing I would add is to make sure you come into the library and check out the decorations that are related to the summer reading program, because Alisha and her team go all out to decorate the children's area to make it, this year, very colorful.
Very good.
And Tracy did help us, so
I did.
Credit where credit is due. She helped us.
Teamwork, yes. Alisha, anything else you'd like to say? Maybe where you can pick up your form to participate?
Yeah. Everything is in the library at the information desk. We don't ask too much from you. We just need to know the ages of the people that are participating, and then you are all set to go. I will say one thing that's not really related to the children's summer reading program, which is that we do have a library crawl that is happening this summer. So all of the Wood County libraries are participating, and you can get a fun little palette. And Tracy, do you want to speak anything more about what is involved with that?
Yep. So there, if you come into the library and go to the info desk, there's a library crawl information sheet that'll have a palette that you can get stamped at, I think it's eight libraries. And then once that's completed, you turn it in and let us know that you finished. And I think each library has a different color stamp for the palette. So it's kind of another fun thing for adults to do this summer.
Would you mind reading me what the locations are that are on this library crawl?
So we have the Wood County District Public Library, the Pemberville Public Library, Way Public Library, Weston Public Library, North Baltimore Public Library, Rossford Public Library, Wayne Public Library, and the Kabish Memorial Library. Sorry if I butchered that name, but
What city is that one in?
I don't know. Oh, actually Fostoria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the farthest one that's on the list. So
Yeah, I think Fostoria kind of sits at the county line, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those border cities. So
correct. Yeah.
That's all right. It still counts.
Yep.
And does someone have to have a library card to participate in either of these programs, summer reading or the library crawl?
No, you do not have to have a library card.
Okay. Got it. Well, I have asked you guys quite a few questions. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
We have a lot of fun activities for you this summer. So if you want to know what we have available, come to the library or go on our website and you can find more information about what we have going on. We have a fun family activity going on downtown, which is our story walk. And we have a book that you could read together as a family. And I'll tell you that will count for your reading for the day if you go do that.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, both, for being here on the Perrysburg Podcast to talk about the Way Public Library's summer reading programs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks again to Tracy and Alisha for being my guests on the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 100. I learned a lot about the Way Public Library's summer reading programs. It's been a while since I've had the summer reading program in my life. I have adult children, ages 20 and 22, but since recording this interview, I picked up an adult summer reading challenge form so I can track my summer reading and maybe win a prize. My son Craig and I are currently reading a book called Spy School. It's actually Spy Ski School. It's in the series by Stuart Gibbs. So the series again is called Spy School, and the novel that we're reading is called Spy Ski School. And if you're wondering why I'm reading to my 22-year-old, I have a son with autism and he does not read, write, or speak. So we read together. Our next book will be Bill Williams' book about the 20 years of internet humor. I look forward to that. Whether you're an adult or a child, Way Public Library has activities for you this summer, so stop in and get started reading today. Thank you for listening to episode 100 of the Perrysburg Podcast. You can find the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. In the show notes, you will find a link to Way Public Library, Gathering Volumes Bookstore, Bill Williams' book, one of Gary Frank's books, a link to sign up for our weekly newsletter, and more. There are several links in the show notes. Everything you need is on perrysburgpodcast.com. You can also subscribe to or follow this show on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Go ahead and share this episode with anyone you know who loves books and might like to learn about the summer reading program at Way Public Library. Or maybe they'd like to learn about my summer reading series. Go ahead and share this episode. I thank you so much for listening today, and I will talk to you next week.